CFC Fan TV, and I have two very special guests with me today. Alan Hudson, how are you?
I'm very good.
You're good?
I'm very good.
And the lovely Martin Knight. How are you?
I'm very good as well.
He just said that I was prettier than Gary Lineker. I've taken that as a massive compliment, so super excited about that. Okay, are you ready to just dive in?
Yeah.
Okay, so I run this channel with two other guys, Charlie and Rory, and we're all really happy to have both of you on. So we just want to know, first of all, what was it like being a local lad in one of Chelsea's most loved teams of all time?
Well, yeah, it's quite weird, considering we had so many good players in Chelsea when I was a kid. And the older players around me, the older people, my uncles, a lot of people in Chelsea, the talent was rife. And it was only really, nobody ever got on. It's just that my dad was born just around the corner in Fulham, and he was a big Fulham fan. I was a Fulham fan, and he took me to Fulham as a kid, 13. Said I was too small. My dad told him that he will grow. Kids do grow. And annoyingly, he took me to Stamford Bridge. We didn't really like. And they walked me through the gates, and that's how it came about. As a 13-year-old, I used to train Tuesday and Thursday. And I got on that way, and to this day, I'm the most, the picture of the book tells you that is only about 200 yards from the ground, and that's Chelsea Power Station, so that's where I learnt my trade before I went there, and there's never been another player that's like, and there never will be.
No, yeah.
I'm sorry to say,
Yeah,
because it is a sad thing, because I know so many kids who love football, they're just, but no scouts that are going to watch them play.
Yeah.
It's sad.
That's the way I feel actually.
Yeah.
Watching it, there's sort of I don't want to say the fun of it, just it's not, I don't consider it as much of a down-to-earth sport as what I would have loved to have gone back in time and watched a game back in those days.
Well, it doesn't make much sense. In fact, yesterday, in fact, I see something on Twitter or something, and Stoke City, my other club, has spent £1 million on going out and finding future spectators, Stoke supporters, 7 and 8 year olds, bringing them to the games. And I replied that they should be going out trying to find kids who can play the game. But not that age, but kids of 12, 13, 14 when I started.
Mm-hmm.
Well, coincidentally, on the way here, we were looking for a parking space, weren't we? And we went through this council estate, and on the wall was a big sign saying no ball games. That tells you everything. They don't.
We both said it at the same time.
Yeah, we both said, look at that. No wonder we're not producing
the kids.
great footballers.
Yeah, it's true.
On the scale we once did. You know.
Most people are bought from abroad now, aren't they, most players?
Yeah.
Okay, so can you explain to some of the younger viewers that may not know just how good that side was back when you played for them? So I think some of our younger viewers, they only really see, especially fans that can't get to the game, they only really see sort of the huge big money buys and...
Well, I think the thing about that time, Chelsea had only ever won the league once. They had never won the FA Cup. When you think what they've done since Abramovich has been there.
That was Dave's phone, by the way.
So we were the first team. We broke new ground. We won the FA Cup, won the European Cup, World Cup, which set everything really. In 1969-70, when we won the FA Cup, we were a team that was thrown together, and all British lads from all over Britain, all ages, and I was the youngest in the team. I was a baby in the team. And we carried it off, and we had the greatest season. It was the most exciting season. It really was. I think we scored a record amount of goals at that time in the FA Cup. We was beating everyone. And incredibly, at the end of the season, we finished that third in the league, and I don't think anyone ever looked at the league table because I was so focused on winning the FA Cup.
But that's what you wanted, yeah.
But we were just not far behind Everton and Leeds. But Everton were the best team that year. They had the best player. It was Alan Ball, who was one of my heroes. So the best team won the league, and the most exciting team won the cup.
Yeah.
Which was us.
Yeah. What do you think of football from now compared to back then?
Well, I'm biased because that was my era.
Yeah.
Obviously I love football now, but the romance of it was from when I was a child. I'm sort of totally wrapped up in that. And, as for the quality, I don't know. I mean, to me, it was better then, but I'm probably wrong. I don't know.
Yeah. I would like I said, I would have loved to have gone to a game back then.
I mean, what's changed for me is the atmosphere. You know, now football is a bit, I know it's a bit of a cliche, but it's a bit like going to the ballet. You know, you sort of nip out and sort of read your programme, and no one sort of moves around, no one is allowed to shout, and that's what I used to like, the outlet of it.
Yeah. And I think the all-seating changed that game dramatically.
Yeah.
Well, I think, like I said to you, the first game I went to was Exeter City back in the day, and it was £6 for a ticket, but they had a standing area. I don't know if they still do. I mean, God, that was years ago now. But there was still some of that. If you wanted to stand, you could go and stand, and if you wanted to sit, you could. Now there's not really the options there at all.
No, they're all seats. And the amazing thing about it is everybody stands up.
Yeah.
Even though there's seats in the
defeats
ground.
the object, really.
So
depends which stand you're in, Chelsea.
So it's a waste of time.
Yeah.
The whole thing. But I mean, that changed the game dramatically, because when you think Chelsea get 43,000 at the moment in games, and there used to be 30-odd thousand in the shed alone when we played. At Stoke, you know, at Anfield there was 45,000 in the Kop, standing beyond one goal. At Stoke, when I played there was 35,000 in the Booven end. You know, and that was, as Martin said, that makes your hair stand up. You know, but them days are gone. You know, the shed now at Chelsea is like, you look at the shed and you think, what happened?
Where is it?
You know, what happened? Yeah, it had to like a bike shed.
So what do you think they could do to make it better?
Well, they could bring back standing areas to accommodate people that do want to stand.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's one thing they could do. I think there should be some sort of law that you have to have so many homegrown players.
The problem is we're so greedy, so money orientated, and that is why, going back to the point that no homegrown players coming through. Because if they had to have four, say it was Chelsea, they could even go to the extent of saying you've got to have 4 Londoners in the team. In Liverpool, you've got to have 4 Scousers or whatever, in Manchester, whatever, from the area. You know, at least on the. But as I say, though, we used to have 4. We had to have 4 on the field at all times. But our goalkeeper was a German American, which helped us a lot. But I mean, that's a great point, Mark. I think that would really help our game.
Yeah.
But I think it really is too late. We've gone too far down the line now.
Going back to that, the side that Alan played in the 1970s, which is when I first went. In those days, every club had a flair player. Not many had more than one.
Right.
Chelsea had 3 exceptionally flamboyant and brilliant players, which was Alan, Peter Osgood and Charlie Cook. So to have the 3 of them together was quite exceptional, really. And a host of, I shouldn't say supporting players, but a host of other players that made it just the perfect team. People loved watching them, and they identified with them because they knew they were fun characters. And they were the opposite to the team that's sort of winning everything, which was Leeds United. I think that's why they hated each other.
I mean, apart from that, we had Eddie McCready left back, who was rated the best left back in the world at the time. And he was always picked in the World 11, along with Jim Baxter in Glasgow Rangers and Dennis Law at Manchester United. There was 3 or 4, and our left back was always in the World 11. So you had the 3 of us, and then Eddie, and obviously the goalkeeper, the cat at that time, was in the World Cup squad. So you had 5. That was the base of the team, the 5. So we had a lovely blend.
Okay, so Chelsea fans of any age will know that you played with Osgood, like you said. You can answer this one as well, Martin. What was it like to play with him, and what was it like watching Alan play with him? Either of us.
Well, I think in 1970, I've no doubt when I got into the team. It took me a while to adjust. I was young and I was doing all their running for them. But slowly, I've come to terms with it, and slowly, as the momentum picked up in that cup run, Osgood was just unplayable at that time. I think he broke all the records, and he did the following year in Europe. And the greatest injustice of all of this was in 1970 I got injured just before the World Cup in Mexico. I missed a cup final, I missed a World Cup, but more important, Osgood went and he never got picked. Ramsey chose to pick someone in front of him, and if he'd have played in Mexico, we might have even won the World Cup again, because we got closer. We lost 1-0 to Brazil, who won it, who were the best team, and Osgood was sitting on the bench. And I think if even Bobby Moore, the great Bobby Moore, said to me, he said if Ozzy, he said he was really playing out of his skin out there, he was fit, and he was choked that he never got picked by England, and that's another indictment on the England South, you know. But he would have come back from Mexico had he been picked, rated the best centre forward in the world, and I think he was for that season alone.
Yeah. Because
I think he just kind of got over his broken leg, and he was, you know, he was competitive. He was some player, the best centre forward I've ever seen, even up till today.
What was it like watching Alan play with the likes of Osgood?
Well, that's what I was sort of touching on earlier. I mean, basically you knew if Alan or Charlie or Ozzy got the ball, something good was going to happen. Yes, there would be flair. When a lot of football matches, you have to wait for the good bits to come. Chelsea with that team, with David Webb and Ian Hutchinson and Peter Manetti and so on, John Dempsey, you just knew something good was going to not necessarily win, but you'd be entertained. There was an entertaining side, and that's what football should be about, not grinding out 1-0 wins.
Yeah.
If you ask people why they go to football, number one, they want to be entertained, and number two, they want to see goals.
Yeah.
They don't want to go and see a 0-0 draw. The days of the good 0-0 draws are gone, you know, but today you see it, you know, you see Liverpool played Manchester United the other day, and they got the amount of money on that field, and there was 2 shots.
Yeah.
2 shots on target, and the money that Marino and the other fellow spent, and you think, well, this has got to be.
But do you think that's down to like players' lifestyle or coaching? Yeah.
No, it's coaching. Look, I think, I mean, it's not the players' fault that they cost that much money. You know, it's just the state of the economy, football economy. But it just don't add up that you get 2 shots in a game. You know, you can go over and see a pub team.
Yeah, if you bought that game of Marks and Spencer's, you take it back, wouldn't you?
Totally. All day long.
Or in your case, Sainsbury's.
Yeah. Okay then, so having played so well in the 1970 Cup run, what was it like missing out on the final? You must still have felt like a part of it in some way.
No, I didn't actually.
You didn't?
I was that upset, well, devastated actually. I missed the final, I missed the replay. I went in hospital to try and get me ready for the replay, which was about a month after, 3.5 weeks later, I think. And I missed it, and I went on the pitch after the game, ran round with the lads, they grabbed me with a cup, and then I got on the late train home to London. And I can remember going, I was drinking on the train coming home with a couple of friends, and I got to Tottenham Court Road Sporting Casino at 1 o'clock in the morning, and they were all having a party, and they're all Chelsea supporters, and I walked in and I said, what are you doing here? You know, you should be with the team. I just couldn't face being with them. And the following day they come back down with a bus, on the open top bus, and I was in the pub in Kings Road. I couldn't even get on the bus with them. I was absolutely choked. I couldn't even go on the bus, and it affected me for a long while, and I didn't get over it until I come out of my coma 14 years later. When I come out of my coma, it was almost as if I'd been healed, you know. I looked at my medical report, what I'd been through, and I thought, my ankle is nothing. And what happened there is so unimportant, and like I say, there was a new challenge to go through. It was right, it wasn't until I came out of coma that I really got over the Leeds game. I couldn't even watch it on telly, but now I can.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so kind of, what they say?
Closure.
Well, it's closure, and someone's come, I don't say they're blessed with me, because I've never been blessed, but it used to rankle me a lot. I used to have nightmares over it.
Really?
Yeah.
Anyone though, wouldn't it, I suppose, if you miss out on something.
Well, I got the double whammy. I got the double whammy, didn't I? I got the FA Cup final in Mexico, which was the greatest World Cup of all time, which the greatest Brazil side, Bobby Moore his finest World Cup. I thought we played better in 1970 we did in 1966. So I missed all that, all through one injury. Just going down, I didn't even get kicked. I just brought a ball down one day at West Brom and went down a hole. And it's just happened. It's happened Easter Monday, and it seems Easter Monday's not a good day for me. Even the pubs close early on Easter Monday.
They do, don't they? Right?
They did.
No Guinness for you guys. Definitely none for me. I think it's awful. So you famously fell out with manager Dave Sexton at the time, which sort of contributed to you and Ozzy leaving. Is there anything specific, or was there a specific turning point in that where you thought, right, I've got to leave, or was there a certain argument, or was it just sort of a lot of things all in one?
I think it's a combination, yeah. As I'm reminded on the way here, that I fell out with Chelsea Football Club. I never fell out with the supporters.
Yeah.
The supporters were great, the Shed Boys and all that. I mean, when we used to go to away games in them days, they used to be on the same train as us, so we was like all one team. They were all part of the team, and they'd come through the carriages and we'd all be sitting there and they'd all come into our carriage and we'd all be drinking with the fans. And all
really?
That. Yeah.
I wonder if Conte and Co would let us get on the train with them.
So. But it was extraordinary, really, that we were one. You could call us one family, really. We used to drink in the pub around the corner and then with the fans.
Yeah.
The same as Matthew Harding did when he was chairman. Almost chairman.
Yeah.
He would go in the Imperial with all the fans because he was a Chelsea fan. Yeah. And there's never been anyone on the board with Chelsea like Matthew Harding. Before his helicopter went down, I had lunch with him, with my son, and he was having a run-in with Ken Bates. And we had the lunch, we finished lunch and we got up. I thanked him for lunch. And I just said to him, what's next, Mark,
yeah.
Matthew? And he went, he said, I'm just going to have to wait for him to die. Meaning Ken Bates.
Oh my God.
Yes. And then 10 days later, he was killed in the helicopter. And I got up that morning, I was laying in bed that morning, put TVM on, and see this helicopter splattered all over the place. I said there'd been the game with Bolton, that it's got to be Chelsea directors because there's programmes and everything else and all around the splattered around. And I remember saying to my wife then, that would be Matthew.
Oh, that's so sad.
And they were his last words to me. And I didn't ask him. I didn't mean that. I just,
And he was only joking as well, I imagine.
No.
No?
No, he wasn't. He wasn't. There was a lot of hatred there.
Right.
And rightfully so, he had every reason to hate Ken Bates because he was trying to take the thing he loved away from him.
Yeah.
And he's stopping him from getting there. And yet he kept bowing him out with his money. And Bates, he kept bad mouthing him in the press and everything else. It was a traumatic time for Matthew.
Yeah.
He didn't deserve it. And he was a great man, but the good guy goes again, doesn't he? That's
yeah.
Good.
So, what do you think now of the current Chelsea side?
Well, they're obviously very, very good, and I think they'll still win the league.
This year? The Premier League?
Yeah, Premier League.
No way. They're not. The fans aren't going to like me saying this, but I've sort of prioritised the Champions League now.
Manchester City will blow out. They always do.
You think?
Yeah.
What do you think, Alan?
I think there's a lot of trouble at Chelsea. I see trouble ahead. I think there's trouble with the manager. I don't think the manager's happy. But I think that's just something to do with the hierarchy above. I think he deserved better than what he got after winning the league. But several other managers before him felt that way. But watching their performance this year, he's luckier than me, Martin. He's betting to win the league, there's no doubt. But you can't.
The manager seemed happy on Saturday when he jumped in the crowd.
Yeah, we were all pretty happy with that.
Yeah, he thought it was attendance.
Yeah.
No, we but yeah, okay, so you don't think Premier League this year, but Martin does.
I don't. I think there's a lot of change. I think you know, watching the Watford game at the weekend, it was. If had Watford taken their chances, I think you might have got the sack Saturday night. I really do.
Really?
Yeah, they lost. They lost against Palace. They were awful against Roma. They just got out of jail. They lost the first game with Burnley, but I think he would have been very, very close.
Blimey.
Yeah.
Really.
That's very country,
Yeah, you
isn't
never
it?
know. Oh, yeah, it can be, but I think there's not really any other good option. What do you think, Dave?
We're going to win it.
Where can people buy this? What's in it? Because you said that you originally had a book published, but it's not as sort of candid as this one.
No, it's exactly the same. But Martin's wrote the backword from when I come out of hospital. So it's 20 years coming up since we brought it out, and we didn't really have time to promote it properly. But now we will, and it's.
Well, you had your accident, didn't you?
Yeah,
shortly after this was released.
Yeah.
It came out in hardback 20 whatever years ago it was, and it sort of broke new ground in as much as it was one of the first footballing autobiographies that I know of where the footballer actually wrote it himself and expressed genuine opinions and didn't sort of toe various party lines. Yeah, most of them just used to say, you know, I was playing out in the street, I got a trial, I cleaned Stanley Matthews' boots, got in the first game, played for England, bought a pub. Didn't really tell you much else, whereas the Working Mans Ballet sort of broke new ground, and it's never come out in paperback. And some of the original hard copy copies go on eBay for stupid money. And we were chatting one day in the pub. I've got a publishing company with John King, who wrote The Football Factory, and we said, why don't we bring it out? So John wrote the introduction. The body of the book is the original Working Mans Ballet, and I've written the afterword, sort of bringing the story up to date.
Yeah, okay, perfect. And where can the viewers purchase it?
Well, they can buy it on the London Books website, or they can buy it on Amazon, and they buy it in all good bookshops.
I'm going to have a good read of it when these have gone. It'll be my nighttime read. I don't read too much, so it's nice to have something interesting. With my green tea. What's wrong with my green teas? There's no Guinness in this house, unfortunately.
I won't drink anything else now.
Just green teas.
Well, when David set the whole thing up, he says, Alan, you must come along because she's a beautiful girl and she's got a wonderful bar.
Oh, Dave, you tell him that.
He did,
You say so many things.
I just told him you had a wonderful bar.
Listen, vodka and oranges ready for us.
Sophie, what do I always say?
They brought her home.
Chelsea's number one. Babe.
Chelsea's number one. Anyway, guys, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on. So you can find the book on London Books.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks both for
Thank you
coming
very much.
on.
Thank you.
And we will see you all super soon.